Hello friend, and welcome to Borgcast the animated series 1.13. Now you got it? Damn it! Thank you, Stephen. Previously on Borgcast the animated series, Jeffrey Mark-Hyman had this to say: continuing excellence in the background illustrations.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all the underwater stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What's that one called?
The ambergris.
The ambergris element?
I think it was.
Incident?
Experiment.
It's one of those things. The titles aren't that important. Although this week's title is interesting. It's the Jihad.
Yes.
Yes. Written by Stephen Candell, second of two. Previously wrote Mud's Passion. Yes. It's based on a story he'd originally written for Mission Impossible.
How? What?
Yes. Hence the team aspect to it. When you realise that, it starts to make a little bit of sense. I mean, it doesn't make a great deal of sense, but it makes a little bit more sense when you realise it wasn't written for this format. That's why it seems so bloody odd.
Yeah, but a lot of what seems odd is the visuals.
Yeah, the visuals are odd as well, and the designs.
Yeah.
But it doesn't... Well, we shall explore.
Captain's log, stardate 5683.1. We're making a rendezvous with the Vidala asteroid on a unique mission. The Vidala are the oldest spacefaring race we know. They say something incredibly dangerous to the safety of our galaxy is developing, and they have sent for selected specialists, including Spock and myself.
You open with a captain's log and weird-ass ships. So you've got to start talking through the weird-ass ships.
Okay, they're just reused designs from the spaceship graveyard in the Time Trap.
Okay.
So they've literally just copied and pasted a few odd ships in.
The green one, do we think that's the Grasshopper's ship?
They didn't think about it, so I'm not bothering to be honest.
Okay.
They literally just reused some old designs and said, that'll do.
Ah, I see. And they've been contacted by the Vidala, who are the oldest spacefaring race that they know of. And they say that there is a major hazard to sort of civilization, so they've all got to beam down. And when they do, there is a team, as you pointed out, consisting of a griffin dude.
Okay, well, let's start with the Vidalan, who is unnamed.
Who's some sort of white tiger in a pink leotard.
Yes, yet another cat creature, because we needed another cat creature in this, didn't we? I mean, this is about, the third, the fourth? I'm not sure, I've lost count now. Voiced by Jane Webb. She provided voices for a lot of Filmation shows, including Batgirl on, well, you can probably guess. She was a reoccurring character in various Archie shows. Not that Archie was ever a thing over here.
Classes. Massive Rescue Rangers.
Of course. The New Adventures of Gilligan.
Those poor people.
And she played a voice on all 36 episodes of
Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle.
Which you didn't watch. I'm very disappointed. I showed Anne-Marie a clip. It's like, hey, it's Tarzan. I'd forgotten about this. And it's clearly slightly before her time. Boo.
The jungle. Here I was born. And here my parents died when I was but an infant. I would have soon perished too had I not been found by a kindly she-ape named Kala, who adopted me as her own and taught me the ways of the wild. I learned quickly and grew stronger each day. And now, I share the friendship and trust of all jungle animals. The jungle is filled with beauty and danger, and lost cities filled with good and evil. This is my domain, and I protect those who come here. For I am Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle.
remembered so much of that intro. So we've also got Char, a score, and if his species looks familiar, that's because they're the same designs they used for the Aurelians from yesteryear and a couple of Lower Decks episodes. I mean, why they didn't make him an Aurelian, I do not know. They're just being lazy and reusing designs.
Yeah.
And he's voiced by Doohan. What a surprise. Also voiced by Doohan is Sword. Who's
a reptile, and that's it.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets told why they're there.
The specialty, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's their speciality, because Char is there because it's his people.
Yeah.
And then you get, the lockpick and the lodger.
The hunter.
And the hunter, and, well, she's the opposite of me, because she's got an unerring sense of direction.
Yeah, but he's just the reptile.
Yeah, and he's called Sword, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we've got EM3 Green, generally known as M, voiced by David Gerald. Remember that name?
Yes.
AKA writer of the Tribble stories
Yeah.
and Believers.
Yes.
I mean, this explains why it's not the greatest acting performance ever, because he ain't an actor. And he later admitted he was disappointed with his performance, quite rightly. I mean, his design... Quinn absolutely adored this character.
Yeah.
They loved it because he's so derpy.
Yes.
I mean, the lizard is as well, but the insect in particular. And it reminds me of the Ovions from the original Battlestar because of all the arms. When they're on the mining planet. And
Yeah.
And then we have Lara, a human, rather improbably, given her dress and bizarre eyebrows.
The eyebrows are weird, aren't they? They look like antlers that she's stuck on her head.
And she's not exactly dressed for the 24th century, but never mind. Voiced by Jane Webb again. Interestingly, both female characters were due to be voiced by Major Barrett, but she was suffering from morning sickness with the baby who would go on to be Rod Roddenberry. So, Rod Roddenberry, they really didn't try there, did they? Anyway, this is our Mission Impossible team, plus Kirk and Spock.
Yes.
Mostly all with their specialities, except for the lizard.
Yeah, we just don't.
Who's just there for the ride.
Yeah.
His insect-carrying abilities. I mean, that's about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And Char, whatever his name is, says that he's used to be a military race. I mean, they could breed an army in 2 days or something. But 2 centuries ago, they had had a leader who made them see the benefits of peace and brought stability to their society. When he died, they said they made him immortal, and he became a religious leader. But his soul has been stolen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yes.
Wait until you see what it looks like.
Yeah. And it must be recovered before his species launches Jihad, but they don't know who's taken it. So the Vidala says that they've got to go to the Mad Planet. She actually calls it the Mad Planet.
It's mad, sir.
Yeah, the Mad Planet of geological instability. 3 expeditions previously have failed. There will be the 4th if they're willing. And it's like, why don't you go? And she's like, I can't survive on that planet. It's like,
this is one hell of a plot dump, isn't it? It's like 5 minutes of just talky. I can't believe kids put up with this.
And then they go down onto the planet. And
they're transported by magic, seemingly. I mean, later there seems to be a long-distance transporter thing going on because...
Yeah, Lara presses a button later.
Exactly, yes. And as we know from Star Trek Into Darkness... Oh, well, you don't because you haven't seen it, but yeah, they transport over unfeasibly long distances. So much so that, well, why bother with spaceships if you can do that? So, yeah.
The lizard likes the planet, and Lara fancies Kirk and keeps trying to shag him.
Oh, we're told it's 20 to 270 degrees Kelvin. So that's between minus 253 and minus 3 Celsius. Which isn't... I mean, we see a bit of snow at one point, but Kirk and Spock ought to have their environmental belts on not to freeze to death.
Yeah.
Blimey.
They're going to try and get to where this soul is using a sort of a tracking device on the machine, but it immediately dies. But that's
a new vehicle for the toy line. Woo!
Yeah, it's a weird-ass vehicle.
It is.
It's rubbish, isn't it?
Very much reminds me... Now, this is going to mean nothing to you, O Vienna.
Yeah.
But... Palatoy, bless them, and Kenner, brought out these non-featured in the films, these Star Wars vehicles, these small little play vehicles, because they were more affordable than your X-Wings and your Millennium Falcon. And, the one, for a while, the worst one was the first one I was bought, which was called the Droid Transporter and featured C-3PO and R2-D2. You can imagine how crap that ship was. Yeah.
Are they the ones we've still got that don't make any sense that are
Yeah.
upstairs?
So the one of them is for snowtroopers from The Empire Strikes Back. Again, never featured. It looks like a bit like bulldozer, isn't the word? Is it those
JCB?
those things that flatten the roads when they're working on them?
Steamroller.
Not a steamroller, but yes, that sort of thing. One of those road rollers. That's it. It's a road. It looks like a road roller. It's really tall, and the things are on springs, so you can push it down for no good reason. It looks like that.
Right.
Yes.
The thing is, it's got these little wheels in the middle that then got stuck on something, and
Yeah.
So what are they there for?
I don't know. It's got a big roller on the front. It's got a big wheel at the back. It doesn't really need the middle wheels.
No.
But yeah, and most the wheels at the back have tyres. The rest don't.
No. Well, you've got Caterpillar tracks at the front.
Well, it's not a Caterpillar track. It's a big roller.
Yeah, but it's spiky though, isn't it?
Well, it's got a bit of grip on it, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No. Anyway, they've been given weapons. Oh, the other thing as well is it starts raining on this planet. This fucking buggy thing's got no roof.
Yeah, that's really good planning, isn't it? Thank you, Vidala, for supplying us with a vehicle with no roof and no seatbelts.
Oh, yeah.
That's another really bad thing later on.
But then if it's got a roller at the front, maybe it's only going 2 miles an hour normally.
Yeah, it's not going that fast, is it? Although it does outrun lava later on. So
Yeah, but the cricket or whatever it is rewires it.
Yes, that's right, to speed it up.
Yeah, to make it go 5 miles an hour instead of 2, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, the soul of Alar is in a circus tent, because of course it is.
Yeah, which clown thought of that? Oh, God, the dog's giving me side-eye.
That's how bad that joke was. Yeah.
Yeah. And every so often they cut to the Enterprise for absolutely no reason
there's
whatsoever.
nothing going on there. You don't
beyond
find
padding.
Yeah.
Not inside the Enterprise, just the Enterprise in orbit. And then there's lots of shots of volcanoes for more padding.
Yep. Or it's a motion shot. It's sort of going up and down and jiggling a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So they have to. The lava's coming. Oh no! So they have to rewire the buggy so that they can get away from the lava.
Yeah. They make their escape, but they hit a rock. And thanks to there being no roof and no seatbelts, damn you Vidalans, Spock shoots unrealistically out of the vehicle. Kind of floats out the vehicle, to be honest.
Oh no, it's just he looks properly like a cardboard cutout. There's no movement. There's no actual animation of his limbs
it
or
reminded me,
anything.
and then Poochie went home. It was that sort of level of sophistication. Anyway, he calls on them to leave him behind, but Kirk ain't going to go nowhere without his Tyler, or however that was pronounced. I can't remember now. Next, the crap wagon fails to get up a not very steep incline.
Oh, it's a really small incline.
I mean, maybe the Vidalans could have provided it with some tyres or maybe 4-wheel drive. No. You just...
4-wheel drive wouldn't do anything about the 6 unnecessary wheels in the middle that get stuck on things, though, would it? It would have to be.
So our heroes have to hot-foot it from the lava.
And do you notice, though, that they end up looking like they're going faster than the vehicle was?
Yes.
Like, why did they not just get out of the vehicle in the first place?
M nearly falls down a crevasse, but is saved by Spock and Char. We get a new piece of music at this point, which makes a pleasant change, I guess. The little insect is too tired. Oh,
I
it's
like that. I'm
adorable.
not afraid anymore. I'm just really tired.
Want to go bed. But he gets carried by Sword, because that's his job, who spots movement. They could have said something about his visual acuity, maybe. Never mind. T'Char flies on ahead because he's, the flying scout dude, and Lara and Kirk scout on foot. And when they reach the tent, she makes another pass at him. They talk about them missing out on green memories, which is a euphemism I've not heard of, but there we go. I mean, if it's
I'm not
green,
sure I want it to be aired.
yeah, I was going to have it's green. That's not good, is it?
No.
The Urban Dictionary describes green memories as meaning having unprotected sex with a stranger. I mean, that's really subtle for a kid's cartoon then, isn't it? M picks the lock on the door to the tent. I bet that was difficult. Just pull the ribbon, surely.
But no, because the ribbon is the soul. It's gone away. You can't pull a ribbon.
But apparently it's on a timer that will make it explode if it's not open in enough time, because we need some jeopardy because they've run out of lava or something.
This so reminded me of Villa in Blake 7.
Yes.
He's a cowardly locksmith as well.
Yeah, he was. He was a total villain, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In yet more cheapo recycling, we get the swoopers attacking from the Infinite Vulcan. This time they're mechanical sentinels, which look exactly the same, which our heroes phaser in a puff of steam for reasons. T'Challa is carried off by one out of sight. If this was Blue Thunder, he'd just explode out of view. Rather disappointingly, the soul of the score turns out to be a bow from a Christmas present.
Oh, it's awful. It's really, really...
Well, that's what a soul looks like, is it? I'm rather disappointed. The heroes talk about not being able to reach it, despite the fact it's shown at ground level to begin with, which is
it's
another
on the
animation
floor over
boom.
there. Yeah.
The door shuts, trapping them inside. Kirk suggests sabotage from a member of their own team. He also says the previous teams didn't get this far, but how he knows this is a mystery. And he's suddenly wearing his life support belt in one scene, and then it's gone again. Having been smooth, the walls now are magically stepped, allowing them to climb.
Yeah.
So initially they start out on a very completely smooth incline, and then suddenly, oh, there's a step there, that's handy. They're fired upon, and Kirk accuses T'Challa, who flaps down. Apparently he stole the soul in order to restore his people to their warrior past. Blimey, this is a long way around, isn't it? But never mind. Then our heroes start floating up to the ceiling, again very unrealistically. Yeah. Apparently a result of Big Bird turning on a gravity neutralizer. Well, why is he keeping that? Kirk asks his first officer how long it's been since he worked out in Zero G. Last week, with you, Spock replies. You'd think the captain would have remembered that. It was only a week ago, for heaven's sake. And what were they doing together in Zero G? Lara presses the return button, and they get beamed back to Vidala with the soul, which is a slightly anticlimactic ending.
Yeah.
Char will apparently be healed from his madness. Right, okay.
Well, the thing is that what the Vidala says is that she'll make him whole again.
You can make me whole again.
And then she just screeches. And he's what?
Seconds after they left, they're transported back to the Enterprise, according to Sulu, who suddenly has some lines. Kirk says something about the Vidala changing their minds, which doesn't really make much sense.
No, why didn't he just say, it was...
We were gone for a while, it seems like seconds to you. I don't know. Makes no sense.
No.
So here we go. Cannonballs or Spock's balls?
Rock on, Tommy, you'll do for me.
His brain is gone.
It's just so bloody weird, isn't it?
It doesn't feel a lot like Trek, does it?
No.
It'd be partly because it was written as a Mission Impossible episode originally.
And then they made it weird as fuck.
Yes. So
But
to make it more
still-
Star Trek, they made it weirder.
Yeah.
I'm hovering between Spock's balls and just balls for this one, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see what you would lose if this wasn't there.
No, but I mean, not that there's any continuity in Star Trek generally. In this
No, but
era,
as in, in terms of connecting with anything at all, or
yeah,
it just doesn't. It doesn't really feel that it's. So it's not a bad episode necessarily completely because it is so weird. It's quite amusing.
there's stuff happening. It's not boring. It's just weird.
I think it is balls because it's not Star Trek because it's trying to be Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And then they try and make it Star Trek in inverted commas by putting all these aliens in, but they're weird.
They're not any of the regular aliens.
No. So, yeah, and actually what it reminded me of more than anything else was Blake 7.
Wow. I mean, it's not many Star Trek episodes that will do that, but there we go. Except for the one that was based on Jewel, of course.
Yes.
Arena
Yes.
and Jewel
Yeah.
are basically the same plots. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Blake 7 Caribbean from
Yeah.
Star Trek, but yeah.
So, yeah, no, I don't think it's Spock's balls. It's not as bad as Spock's brain. It is still weird.
I think it's just, this is blatantly balls. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not really Star Trek. It happens to have Kirk and Spock in it, but they're playing a very bizarre role in what is a very bizarre story. It doesn't feel Star Trek at all.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, let's find out what other people thought. We've heard from the Llama God.
Llama God's log, Scott Dick, Fixie Kurg, Unyig, Fixie Kurg. There will be blood. Right then, where to start with this one? I mean, we could start with Joe's first comment upon seeing the title card for the episode, which was, what the fuck? Which is indeed certainly a comment you could make about this episode. But it's potentially a little bit more complex than that, and if not, at least it's maybe interesting. So the first thing is, of course, that the title of the episode is Jihad. I don't know how much you've been into this already in your podcast, but it's interesting they use the term Jihad in this episode. My mind immediately goes back to the first place that I actually heard of this term, which is in the writings of Frank Herbert in his novel Dune, where Jihad is a big part of what ends up happening as a result of Paul becoming leader of the Fremen. Now, I'm not going to go into that book very much here, but I did a little bit bit of reading on the topic of the use of jihad in Dune and things like that. And I found an interesting article on Al Jazeera from a few years back, which actually suggested that jihad itself is actually a somewhat complex thing. It's not just a mad, bloodlust, holy crusade. There are lots of other levels to it as well. And it's often tied to religious experiences, and that's kind of important in the case of Dune, where Paul Atreides becomes this whole religious figure to the Fremen. It's very complex. And what interested me about the article was they didn't condemn the use of the term jihad in the book Dune, and actually made a point of saying that it was interesting how Herbert had brought aspects of Islam into his imagined society of the future. Now, this isn't a podcast about Dune, so I'm not going to go into whether Herbert actually did some racist things or not in that. I'm sure he probably did. Maybe did it consciously, maybe not. Who knows, given the kind of person that he was. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a very complex thing, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. But I think there was a general perception in the West that jihad is just a crazed, bloodlust-fueled murder rampage kind of thing, which is not actually the original intention. Now, it's possible that it's being used in this episode simply because someone just recently read Dune and wanted to use the term jihad and thought that might elevate a kid's cartoon maybe a little bit. So at least to start off with, you could give them the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, they're just using some terms and, it could educate some kids, etc. But I think you've also got to look at some of the uses of some of the other terminology and imagery that they're using in the episode as well. The central race that is threatening this jihad is a humanoid bird-type alien, and what's striking there is that the Falcon especially is a symbol of the Middle Eastern Arab peoples and associated with royalty, and it feels like there's a very deliberate link there, so we're definitely tying things to that sort of area of the world. But then, of course, what they're searching for is an artifact which is the soul of Allah. It took me a second until Joe pointed out you could pronounce it slightly differently. You could pronounce the soul of Allah. Yeah, okay, are we getting something there? Are we getting something there? And okay, this is getting a little bit more dodgy here. And I think what really tips it over from being maybe someone's misguidedly using elements of Islam, which they're just using in the way that a lot of 60s and even to the present sci-fi stuff appropriates Eastern cultures and Orientalism to try and make something look all magical and special and otherworldly. But I think it goes beyond that, because we're told that the Score Warriors also breed rapidly and furiously, and when they breed sufficient numbers, they're going to go and kill everyone in the rest of the universe. And that's what really, for me, pushes it over the line of being massively racist. There's a lot of tropes there, a lot of racist tropes there. Yes, the overwhelming hordes from another society, and it's also Islam. It's like, yeah, this is really, really uncomfortable. And what's interesting is that Islamophobia is especially rife now in this century. I wasn't sure if it was necessarily the case in the time this episode was aired, which was early 1974, but looking at the timeline, that would have been shortly after the start of the 1973 oil crisis, when the Arab states decided to cut off supplies of oil to the Western world. So yeah, there could definitely be a degree of bad feelings toward the Middle East there as well, which is what led to some of the imagery used in this episode. I think what really puts the cherry on the racist cake, though, is the final reveal that the god's soul was stolen by one of their own people, which is just yet another trope, isn't it? They're untrustworthy people. You can't trust them. They talk about peace, but what they really want deep down inside is bloodshed. Anything else is just lies. Yeah, that's a very unfortunate trope, and yeah, this just makes this whole thing really, really awkward. So yeah, not keen on this. But that aside, if you can say, but that aside, just looking at the rest of the episode, like we do most of the animated episodes, is this using animation in a way to do things that we couldn't have done in live action? I mean, absolutely. We have lots of aliens here. You can argue about the realizations. I thought the cat person was especially funny, especially when she meows at the end. That's just hilarious. I know she's menacing Chachar, but yeah, it's just ridiculous. But again, in live action, the aliens wouldn't have been quite as easy to envisage. And the cast get to move through lots of different environments as well, which has just been impossible on a 60s TV series budget. So at least they're making use of that. The one thing I will say is that despite that, though, the final temple is really badly done. It's just a box that's inside, and the soul seems to be floating on the floor, but they have trouble reaching it, and I just didn't understand that. I thought, can't they just walk across the room to the other side? But it turns out that it's actually floating on a ledge. But I just didn't get that from that opening reveal and pan across the temple. It just looked like they could just walked and taken it. So yeah, really bad realization of the interior of the temple there, which is unfortunate. There's also a nice hilarious moment when Spock flies out of the car. That's just really funny, as he's just passively flung from the seat with a kind of blank look on his face, which does yet again point out that Starfleet really, really needs to invest in seatbelts everywhere. And there was a nice mention of Kirk and Spock having practiced anti-gravity fighting just a couple of weeks ago, and that's nice to see. Again, we've never seen that on the TV series budget, but it's nice to be told that they actually practice these things, because well, you'd expect that, because they're in space where there's no gravity really. So yeah, nice to see that included. So yes, the final question we have to ask in the episode is it cannonballs? Well, in this case, it doesn't matter because they don't remember it. So sure, it can be canon or not because it didn't happen, or maybe it did. But I mean, as always, I'm going to go with it being canon, even though it's uncomfortable, because I guess we've got to live with and deal with that uncomfortableness and address it at some point. So yeah, still canon. So yes, safe to say, not an episode I particularly enjoyed, but one which may be culturally interesting if you want to look at it like that. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. But as ever, I will of course be interested to find out what everyone else made of this. I hope that everybody's making sure to keep their souls somewhere safe, like a briefcase or something. I don't know. And until next time, glory to you and your cast.
Yeah, I hadn't caught that because they pronounce it Alar, which isn't that much like Allah. But then when you see it written down, as I just checked,
how they
A-L-A-R.
Yeah.
Oh my giddy aunt. Plus there's a tent.
Yes, it's in a tent, isn't it? The soul.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ouch.
Ouch.
I just thought they were using the word jihad but it's way more.
No,
than that.
it's way worse than that.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
And yes, you're right. There is a lot more subtle meaning to jihad.
It just means struggle.
It does.
And the word struggle can be used in different, even in English, can be used in a lot of different contexts to mean a lot of different things.
Yeah, I mean, trial, what you're going through. Yeah, your determination to improve your faith.
But it can also be, a struggle against oppression.
Yeah.
It's, it's not right to translate it as war.
Yeah, it's associated with terrorism is the issue, that's not the original meaning or inference of the word at all. But there we go. Yeah.
Oh, ouch. I hadn't made that connection.
But I do like the idea. Yeah, it was all a dream, really, basically. So we can ignore this one.
Yeah.
And I think we're better off doing that. Except, having said that, the aliens were cute, and Quinn loved them. So it's not completely irredeemable, but just mostly.
Yeah.
I say my main problem is that it doesn't feel like Star Trek because, it wasn't originally written for Star Trek, so that shouldn't be a surprise.
So it was going to be a racist episode of Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first, would it? Because they had all those made-up South American republics that they had to go and do something with and impersonate a leader and...
Corto Maltese.
And all the rest of it. And what's his face used to have to brown up.
Yeah. Did that happen? I'm not sure.
No, it did. Towards the end of Mission Impossible, after Nimoy had left, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's leave that there and move on to Burry. See what he thought of this weirdness. He did say, if you're a member of the security services reading this email because of the subject line, hello, have you considered watching Star Trek the Animated Series?
Hello, Orgs. Parry here to talk about the Jihad. Yeah, I'm sure this is an episode title that's going to get us all and put on lists somewhere. I'd like to think that the security services aren't quite so paranoid that they think that an international terrorist organisation is going to be sending emails saying, read the Jihad, as if it's talking about the Christmas night out. But you can never tell these days. The word didn't really change its connotation rather than meaning the word's changed. But, it's, I suppose, is it a holy war or struggle? I'm sure it's actually the literal translation. But, anyway, we've got, this one's quite an interesting one because, again, we've got these ancient races popping up, and it's another ancient cat race, but a different one because it's not a Kzinti, it's not a Cation, it's other, I can't remember the name that they gave them, but yeah, there's another cat race who've got weird arms that almost look like they're put on backwards, and they've kind of brought Kirk and Spock in to join what's effectively a D&D party. You've got a thief, you've got a ranger, you've got a sort of a Spock, everyone D&D party needs a Spock, and they've been kind of brought in to go and find this thing from the score. And again, it's nice to see the score again. I think it's the third time we've seen them. And we've got a bit of backstory on their race. And again, just it's nice to have, it's mostly, out of the races that we've got there's really only one that could have been done with any sort of accuracy in live action. I know there's the lizard guy. I liked the lizard guy, for all that he didn't seem to have a particular role. He's, I suppose you could see him as a Gorn, although he's not a Gorn, he's another lizard species. I did have a brief theory with the number of cat species that is there an equivalent of the species we saw in the Chase, who have seeded a race of ancient cat people who seeded cat all over the universe, and on Earth they just evolved into a domestic cat. I don't know, interesting thought. Sort of alternative to the one who made all the humanoid races. But yeah, they've got this mission, and it's quite a fun little romp. Everyone's got their little role. You've got the woman who's both good at finding sense of direction and really wants to bang Kirk. More or less just going up, hey, how about it? And he's like, no, he looks quite awkward about it, which is quite fun. Again, not really playing up to the normal Lothario reputation he's got. You've got the little bug guy, and again, he's like, your sort of tinkerer and thief lockpicker, but I like the fact that he's a coward. And, it's almost a mood of no, just leave me, let me die, I can't go on. And he's just been carried by the lizard guy. I thought that was quite fun. And yeah, just in general, again, it turns out that the score is was it Char, I think he was called? He's betrayed them because he's actually wanting, they were a warrior race, and he wants them to go back to that, and to just, for all that, as Kirk says, but we'll obviously beat you. It's you can't fight the whole universe, and it's more or less that no, but we die as warriors, which I suppose is stuff we've seen with the Klingons before. And yeah, just in general, quite a, there's fun adventure on sort of toy watch. Again, they've got that weird car thing with the steamroller front, and again, the fact that it was open topped and just the look of it, I could totally see that made out of like that 1970s, 80s plastic, like the Star Wars toys, with those little slots for your little action figures. Like, I think we're really, one of the takeaways from this watch through of the animated series is I'm really annoyed about the number of Trek toys we didn't get from this. Because there should be a whole lot of these toys. We should have been, it was before I was born, but there should have been available ranges of, Trek toys, boats, shuttles, all that sort of thing, with little Kirk figures that you can put into them, little Trek figures. And I really think that, if anything from this, I feel that we've been done out of a really cool toy range. Even if, for Star Trek. So, yep, overall, I mean, again, there's nothing really in this that is not canon. Again, there's nothing you can say defies canon aside from, yes, another cat race. But nothing non-canon about it. And in fact, they even sort of do the thing at the end where it was all kind of, because it's this ancient race and they didn't want it to get out that we're nearly close to a big galactic war. It's all blanked from memory. So, yeah, very much can fit into canon. And I quite enjoyed this. So all it remains me to say is do keep up the good work. I'll look forward to the podcast and hopefully feedback in the next one. But until then, bye for now.
Bye! Yes, we were robbed from a really cool toy line, definitely.
Yes. Yes, actually, given that most figures back then weren't particularly well animated, it would have been very easy to reenact the go over a bump and throw Spock out scene, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, effectively they are just using action figures for this, aren't they? But anyway. And they weren't the score before, I'm afraid. This is a different species just reusing the same design because they're really cheap. So this isn't a continuity thing. Far from it, sadly.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah. Hey-hoo, well, he enjoyed it a lot more than we did anyway.
Yes.
The next episode we're covering on Tuesday the 9th is the Terratin incident. Not the Terrapin incident, which wouldn't be very exciting.
Yeah.
And next week on the 4th, on the Babelorg podcast, we shall be covering not Signs and Portents, as we originally said, but by any means necessary, I think is the title. Yes. It's a wanky title for what actually is quite a good episode.
Okay.
Yes. But until the next time, we're talking in your ears. Take care. Cheery bye.
Bye.
Theme for Star Trek The Animated Series was written by Ray Ellis and Norm Prescott.
Any music used in this podcast is for illustrative purposes only, and no copyright infringement is intended.
Find our website at borgcast.libsyn.com.
We have a Facebook group which you're welcome to join.
Send emails or MP3s to borgcast@gmail.com.
Find us on Blue Sky at broadcastammo.bsky.social
and revorg.bsky.social.
Shut it down!